Melissa.
Yes. Mr. Howard?
Okay, good afternoon. My name is Judge Law, and we're going to begin with our first appearance calendar for misdemeanor cases. For individuals who are a victim or an alleged victim or a friend or a family member here to support someone, could you please switch your video off and mute your screen so that when the defendant whom you're interested in addressing appears, then you can join in. But right now, switch your video off. If you're an attorney, please leave your video on. Okay, this is, again, my name is Judge Law. As I was saying, this is the first appearance calendar for individuals charged with one or more misdemeanor offenses. Let me, I'm sorry, a lot of people are moving on the screen. So Ms. Grace, can you switch off the video for iPhone and the other person, iPhone 3? Thank you. Okay. These are cases in which individuals were recently arrested and booked at the Fulton County Jail. Soon after being booked in, these cases were then formally accused by the prosecutor, who is the Solicitor General of Fulton County. Hence, this would be the defendant's first time being before a judicial officer with regard to their case, and he or she has a right to remain silent as we proceed through the cases. The defendant should exercise their right to remain silent, because anything you choose to say about the facts or circumstances of your case, your statements can and will be used against you in the treatment of your case. The defendant also has a right to an attorney. If you cannot afford one, one will be appointed to represent you. Today, when I call your case, go ahead and switch up the video for Samsung, Ms. Grace. Thank you. When I address each of your cases on a one-on-one basis, I will let you know what is your new accusation case number, what are the charges of which you're being accused, to appoint counsel for you if required, and to also set a bond for the charges that have been brought against you. Some of you may qualify for what we call a signature bond or a reconnaissance bond. That's the type of bond in which you would not have to pay in order to be released, but you will have to strictly comply with the conditions in order to maintain the signature bond status. If you fail to comply or if you get arrested again, that signature bond can be revoked. Others may qualify for what we call a surety bond or a cash bond. In that particular case, you will have to pay in order to secure your release from the jail, and that can be paid either through a bonding company or out of your own pocket. All right, our reset date for these cases is going to be May 22nd, 2025 at 9 a.m. If you have a cash bond or a surety bond, or you are otherwise unable to be released from jail, then if you remain in jail until the next court date, then you will appear at the next court date of May 22nd at 9 a.m. That's also going to be a virtual proceeding. For others who are planning to attend the next court date, please make sure you contact the clerk's office to get the Zoom link. Okay. Courtroom 2, who do we have at the present time?
Good afternoon, Judge. I would like to make an announcement first.
Okay.
Position number 15 and 16 is a medical reset. Number 18 bond was posted, and then Mr. Gregory Miller, he's not on the calendar for today.
Okay, 18 was released.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, and 16 and 17 is
So
a medical.
15 and 16.
Okay. Is this from yesterday as well?
Yes,
Yes.
Your Honor. It's
All
been
right.
reset since the 5th.
Ooh,
I think they say the person
Still
is
at Grady. Still at Grady.
all right.
And I filed an accusation for Miller, for Gregory Miller. Maybe that will be an add-on. I can check.
Okay.
Is that the person in the courtroom right now?
No, this is position number 8, Mr. Lampley.
Okay, thank you. This is Tommy Rudolph Lampley, Jr. accused of battery, family violence, 2 counts under accusation 25 CR 23998. Mr. Lampley, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be
Good
Miss
afternoon, Your Honor. It's
Jasmine
Brown
Brown.
Osher.
Okay.
And Your Honor, the state and I have a proposed consent bond on this. The only, I guess, minor caveat that I just need clarification on are one of the conditions, I don't know if Miss Inez is, I thought she was handling it, but I don't know who's handling it for the state. Or I'm sorry, I've been speaking with Miss Allen.
All right, Miss Allen, what's the proposed consent bond order?
Your Honor, the recommendation for a bond here is a $2,000 surety with no contact. There are 2 counts of battery, family violence with visible injury. This is a couple in the process of getting a divorce. The victim, Mrs. Inez Lampley, was granted a temporary protective order yesterday, granting her custody of the child, which is a junior. And so we're asking for compliance with that order and custody related to that child. Further orders of the Superior Court will affect that, but at this point, no contact, and I don't believe they still live together. We asked for DVIP or FVIP, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons.
So was that the agreement, Miss Brown Melchor, $1,000 surety on each count?
Yes, Your Honor, and that sounds fine, just subject to any Superior Court orders, because if something happens with the TPO, I think the hearing is set for May 21st, I believe. So just however that ends up working out in the future, I just don't want this order to have any implications on the child custody stuff. That's all.
All right. This will be a consent bond order, $1,000 surety on each count. That's a $2,000 surety bond. No contact with the alleged victim, Ms. Inez. I'm sorry, I didn't get the full name.
Lampley.
Lampley. Third-party transfer of the children only in accordance with any pending Superior Court order.
No, Your Honor, there's a TPO that was just issued yesterday granting her custody of the 1 child that they share in common. No contact whatsoever. So until the Superior
Yeah, that's what I
Court-
meant. That's what I meant. Third-party transfer of the children in accordance with any pending Superior Court order. So if the pending Superior Court order right now says no contact, then that's what it is, no contact.
No contact with my
That's
child.
correct. Mr. Lampley, we will speak, okay, later.
Thank
Yes, Your Honor, that's correct.
Right? And so right now, Mr. Lampley, there is a Superior Court order that requires you to stay 200 yards away from your current wife and your child. And if you violate that order, your attorney is going to advise you that you could be charged with felony aggravated stalking, which means that you stay in jail for up to 3 months with no bond. So I highly recommend that as soon as you make bond on this case, you go straight to your attorney and go over the details of your bond orders. Do you understand?
Yes, sir.
All right. As I was saying, it's a $2,000 surety bond, no contact with the wife and the child in accordance with any pending Superior Court order. But if there is any amendment to contact, that I'll let Superior Court decide that. As you've said, his next hearing for the TPO is on May 21st. So until then, he should definitely make sure that he stays away from mother and child. He'll need to update the court with our court, the State Court Clerk's Division, his current residential address, since it clearly cannot be the wife's address.
So Your Honor, just to clarify that, they've been separated for a while, so the incident location is his actual address. She does not reside there. She resides in a different location. They were doing a child exchange when this incident occurred.
We have asked for a stay away from her current residence.
Okay.
For the child's school and his activities.
Will you be quiet? Do you understand English? You have a right to remain silent. Anything you choose to say can and will be used against you. And if you don't know how to comply with a court order, you're going to be in far more serious trouble. Okay, so as I was saying, it's $1,000 on each count. Conditions have been set forth. Within 30 days of being released, Mr. Lampley will enroll in a domestic violence intervention program. And he'll need to present the certificate of completion to the court. He'll need to come down to the clerk's office and file that certificate of completion. It is a condition of bond. It is not a condition of any adjudication. He will have, so if he enrolls within 30 days, he has the next 6 or 7 months to complete all 26 classes at his expense. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons, and no firearms. And like you said, he's got his own address. Make sure he maintains a current address with the court. His next court date will be sent to his current mailing address, and he'll need to appear in court for that case, for this case, that is. Okay?
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Thank you. And that concludes my business. May I be excused?
Yes, thank you.
Thank you.
Position number 1, Antonio Bell.
Chair, sir.
This is State versus Antonio Dominic Bell, accused of battery family violence from April 29th of this year. Mr. Bell, you've been advised of your right to remain silent. Your attorney is going to be Mr. Alex Chatay, and his accusation number is 25 CR 002393H. Mr. Bell, this is his 4th arrest cycle. He appears to have an open pending case in Superior Court, 24 PI 005733. Ms. Dunlop, what's the recommendation?
Your Honor, just very briefly, I did file a subsequent charge for battery against a pregnant female. I'm not sure why that's not reflected. So it's battery, family violence, and battery against a female who's pregnant as well.
All right, that was probably done after the calendar was published, so let me just check and see if that charge has come through. All right, I do see the amended accusation filed today as well. So Mr. Bell and Mr. Chatay, your client's new charge is going to be under 16-5-21 3.1B, battery against a female who is pregnant. So that's the current charge against Mr. Bell.
Two charges, Your Honor. I'm not sure why it's not reflected correctly. It's supposed to be battery, family violence, and an additional battery against a pregnant female.
Oh, it says count 2. Okay. All right, what you did was, I think you filed an amended accusation adding count 2. Is that what you intended?
Yeah, I was trying to add an additional count, but I'll get that corrected in a second after.
All right, battery, family violence, against female who is pregnant. All right, and what's your recommendation for both charges?
Very briefly, Your Honors, incident date was April 29, 2025 at 2601 Roosevelt Highway in College Park. Officers were actually dispatched to the police station, the South Fulton Police Station, in regards to domestic dispute. They met with the victim in this case, Nikera Hambrick. She stated her and her boyfriend, who's the defendant, live at home together. While she's asleep in the home, he went through her phone, saw her conversing with a male. This resulted in him yelling at her, and then he struck her. She was half asleep. She stated she did lose consciousness for a few seconds. She's not sure if he hit her with an object or his fist, and it did result in her having an open wound. We did have a chance to speak to the victim. She stated it was both their faults. She stated the defendant did go through the phone and hit her as she was waking up, causing her to bleed into her eye. We did ask her why she thinks it was her fault. She said that because he ended up hitting him back after he hit her. She said that she couldn't see for 10 seconds because blood got in her eye, and then she texted her mom after she and the defendant began to tussle after this incident, after regaining consciousness. She did state that she did not want to press charges. She went to the police station because it was close to their home and she wanted to get an ambulance. They've been together 4 years. She stated she no longer wants to be with the defendant and they share no children. She's moved out of the apartment. She lives with her mother. She did not wish to be on Zoom today. She just wants her feelings relayed, and she says she's okay with no further contact and a signature bond. Given that we added additional charges, they is looking for a $2,000 surety bond on this case. No further contact with Nikera Hambrick. She moved out, so I'm not going to issue a stay away from this address. I'm going to ask for 1-day anger awareness and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
Right. Mr. Chatay?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd like to ask for a surety bond that's in the $1,000 to $2,000 range instead. One, we heard that this is his fourth cycle. He has a minimal criminal history. He's 26 years old. He's a lifelong resident of the Atlanta area. He's a graduate of Mays High School. And for the past 5 months, he has had stable employment at a textile company where he is a forklift operator. So given his employment background and the small number of cycles, we would ask for a smaller surety bond.
Mr. Howard, on the felony 10% bond, does the 10% portion get revoked or surrendered because of this new arrest?
Just have to sign off. It's not like a regular bond.
So it has to be a Superior Court sign off? Okay. All right. With regards to count one, the battery family violence, that's going to be a 2,500 surety bond. And for count two, battery family violence against a female who's pregnant, that's going to be a 2,500 signature bond through pretrial services level 3. With a FBIP requirement, no contact with Nigeria handbrake, no illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no firearms, no weapons. He's got his other open felony case where Mr. Bell's already required to have no possession of any firearms. Within 30 days of being released, he will enroll in a domestic violence intervention program, and he will attend all 26 classes at his expense without missing or skipping any classes. He will report to pretrial once a week. And Mr. Bell, I would also recommend that you check with your attorney for your Superior Court case to see if that 10% bond is still intact, because when you get arrested, some judges revoke that 10% option. All right. Your next court date is going to be May 22nd. So this is a $5,000 split bond. Thank you. Courtroom 2.
Can I say something?
If you have a question about your bond, it's all right, but I don't think you can.
Mr. Bell, I recommend that you exercise your right to remain silent. If you have a question, you can call the main line to our office and one of the attorneys will answer your questions, okay?
All right, thank you.
Position 2, Blackman.
This is Michael Blackman, accused of 2 counts of terroristic threats and acts from May 7, 2025. Mr. Blackman, your case number is 25 CR 002401E. You've been advised of your rights, and your attorney is Mr. Chate. This is Mr. Blackman's 7th arrest cycle. Looks like he's got history out of Wisconsin and Ohio. 2021 disorderly conduct, 2021 aggravated menacing, I'm not sure what that is. 2011 FTA, 2011 disorderly conduct conviction. And I don't know whether he's residentially challenged. My pretrial officer, Mr. Howard, is having audio technical issues, so I'm reading off the information that he's providing me. Ms. Dunlap, any recommendation?
Yes, Your Honor. It's gonna be, it looks like 2 counts of terroristic threats. This was a incident that happened May 7th, 1 Margaret Mitchell Square. The victim in this case, Tyrika Redding, she's a security officer. He basically, while escorting him off the property, he threatened to kill her, her family, and shoot up the library she works at. He confessed to the incident after being Mirandized to officers. The victim stated she confirmed everything in the warrant, and he also kept calling her the B word. She said the library has banned the defendant and she would like a no contact order. She has no input about bond. She's not able to attend court because she has school, so no need to sound for her. The state is looking for a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial on each charge. Stay away from this 1 Margaret Mitchell Square. No further contact with Takira Redding. 1 day anger awareness, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
Mr. Chate, does your client have a mailing address?
I don't know, Your Honor. That's not something I discussed with him.
Okay. The bond on each count is $500. This is a $1,000 surety bond. I don't have a valid address to put him on pretrial. He's to stay 200 yards away from the 1 Margaret Mitchell Square Central Library. And also to have no further contact with Tykeria Redding. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons. And the next court date is going to be May 22nd. Thank you.
Next is position 3, Mr. Braun. Position number 3, Mr. Braun.
All right, thank you.
Sorry.
This is Stephen Braun, accused of a public indecency and loitering and prowling from May 5th, 2025, case 25 CR 2394Y. Mr. Braun, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be. Is this a conflict case, Mr. Chate?
I believe this is Mr. McLean's case.
Oh, okay. Mr. Michael McLean, are you available?
We can go to the next person.
Oh, he's
Thank you.
here. He's
Oh,
here.
This is which person, Your Honor?
This is position number 3, Stephen Braun, a PI and loitering and prowling.
Very good. I've got that. Thank you.
All right. This is Mr. Braun's 6th arrest. He's got a 2019 FTA and looks like a simple battery from 2016 that was dismissed. Any recommendation, Ms. Dunlap?
Your Honor, just to know, I did see a 2023 FTA as well. Not sure if you saw that.
Oh, I missed that one. Okay.
As such, officers were dispatched to this address. It looks like it's a residential. No, it's a Parks Common business complex. They spoke to the caller, Teresa Safford. She stated her tenants have been expressing concern regarding individuals entering the property, which is the defendant and another unknown individual. They enter the property at night, congregate in the hallway, have engaged in acts of masturbation outside the office door. These incidents have been communicated to her several times over the past several weeks. There's ring camera footage of the incidents of the defendant engaging in this act, and he was cited for the same type of behavior on the ring camera on, it looks like April 9th, 2025 as well. Officers identified him because he had the same exact outfit on, as well as the same watch. The state is looking for a $2,000 signature bond through pretrial. Stay away from that address, 576 Colonial Park Drive. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
Any objection with the stay away, Mr. McLean?
No objection, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Braun, on the public indecency, your bond is going to be set at 2,500. On the loitering and prowling, there's going to be 1,500. This is a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial services level 2. You are to stay 500 yards away from the Colonial Park Business Complex, which is referenced as 576 Colonial Park Drive in Roswell, Georgia. 500 yards is the length of 5 football fields. So you're not allowed that far away in that location. Do you understand? You have to report to pretrial services twice a month.
Yes, Your Honor.
And you need to provide a valid mailing address within 30 days of being released. If you get arrested again, if you fail to comply with the conditions of the bond, or if you're seen anywhere at that location, this $4,000 signature bond will be converted to either a good bond or a cash bond.
Yes, Your Honor.
Thank you.
Next is position 4, Davis.
Hey, guys.
All right. Santuan. All right. Santuan Davis is accused of criminal trespass and misdemeanor obstruction of an officer, case number 25 CR 2395D. Incident date is May 6, 2025. Mr. Davis, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is going to be Mr. Chate. This is Mr. Davis's first arrest. Ms. Dunlop?
Yeah, Mr. Davis was arrested for trespassing. Looks like the building is called The Commons, 3175 Middletown Road Northwest. He was sleeping in the breezeway. Officers told him to leave the location. He refused to give his name or address. The state is looking for a $3,000 signature bond through pretrial in this case. That's 2 on the criminal, 1 on the willful. Stay away from this 3175 Middletown Road Northwest in Atlanta address, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
Any objection, Mr. Chate?
No objections, Your Honor.
All right, let me just check one thing on this case. I don't have an address listed at all for Mr. Davis. None. Okay. It'll be $500 on each count. This is $1,000 surety. Stay away from the Commons at 3175 Middleton Road. And Mr. Davis, if you are able to provide us with a valid mailing address, perhaps by your next court date, we'll be able to consider a reduction on the bond. Next court date is May 22nd. Thank you.
Next is position 5, Mr. Gates.
This is Dominic Gay, accused of possession and use of drug-related objects and criminal trespass from May 7th of this year. Case number 25 CR 002396C. Mr. Gay comes with 21 arrest cycles. Criminal trespass and willful obstruction in City of Atlanta. 2 open cases with City of Atlanta for trespass. 1 case at East Point for trespass and willful obstruction. Yeah, let me see. 1, 2. East Point for criminal trespass, cycle 16. 2 cases at City of Atlanta. 1, 2, 3, 4. I'm losing track of the number of open cases he's got in City of Atlanta and East Point. All right, this is relevant. On probation in Fulton County, Georgia for entering an automobile with the intent to commit theft or felony, 23 SC 190550. Looks like he's on 2 years probation for that. He's got a FTA from 2025 and 2023. Yeah. Ms. Dunlop?
This incident date was yesterday, 1980 Dalal Drive Southwest. That's a Valero gas station. Officers had previously issued a criminal trespass to this defendant 4 different times. Upon noticing officers, he began walking towards a different street. When officers detained him, they found a crack pipe on the defendant. Seeing as that, like I said, has been 4 different instances where defendant has been told to stay away. The state is looking for a surety bond in this case, 2 on the criminal, 500 on the possession of a drug-related objects for a total of 2,500. A stay away from the 1980 Dalal Drive Southwest. That is a Valero gas station once again, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond.
Mr. Chate?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd ask this court to consider a surety amount in the $1,000 to $2,000 range. Mr. Gay is 25 years old. He's a lifelong resident of Atlanta and therefore has strong ties to the community. He is a graduate of Carver High School, and currently he does not have a job, so he would not be able to afford the bond that the state is asking for. Most recently, he worked in the construction industry, and he told me he did that for a couple of years. So for those reasons, I asked the court to follow my recommendation instead.
vote, vote. So in 2020, December 2024, February 2025, April 5th, 2025, May 8th, 2025. Between December 22nd to today, he has been booked into Fulton County Jail 4 times. On the criminal trespass is going to be a $1,500 surety. On the possession and use of drug-related objects is a $500 surety. This is a $2,000 surety bond. Stay away from the Valero gas station in question. No illegal drugs, alcohol, and no weapons. Next court date is May 22nd. I'm looking for some serious probation if there's an offer on the table from the state. Next case.
Next person is number 6, Harris.
Mr. Harris, Gerald Dale Harris is accused of violating a family violence protective order from May 7th, 2025. Mr. Harris, your case number is 25 CR 2397J. You've been advised of your right to remain silent. Your attorney is Ms. Maureen McLeod. Mr. Harris, this is his 9th cycle. He had a 2023 fraud and 2023 and 2022 fraudulent transactions by wire fraud, basically. 2020 bribery, looks like it was reduced to blackmail.
Yeah.
All right, and convicted. Okay, Ms. Dunlap?
Thank you, Your Honor. This incident date happened on yesterday at 7170 Flagstone Place in South Fulton. Officers responded to a incident involving dispute regarding the TPO. They spoke with a Miss Devaris Harris, that's Debarus, apologize if I'm mispronouncing that, who advised her husband, the defendant, arrived to the residence in direct violation of the court-issued protective order. He acknowledged that he is aware of the TPO, but stated he had nowhere to go for the night. So officers detained him. The TPO was filed March 20th, 2025. It was issued on April 11th, 2025. Our office did have a chance to speak to Ms. Harris. She stated they've been married for 36 years. They shared 3 adult children. She stated, the defendant came to her house saying he had nowhere else to go and he was tired and he wanted to rest. She stated she didn't answer the door. He also came to her house the day before asking for his medication. She brings the medication to his brother's house once a week and the defendant knows this. She believed the defendant began showing up to her house because the defendant did not recognize her best friend's car that was in the driveway. She stated, as I said before, when the TPO was filed and served, so he's aware of it. She stated she thinks he needs counseling and mental health help for things he went through as a child. And when he drinks, there's issues and she's done with him. She wants a divorce. She wants the TPO to stay in place. She stated that she doesn't want him to go to jail. He needs help. She stated she will be on Zoom so we can sound from Ms. Harris when appropriate in accordance with Marcy's law. Ring camera footage has been uploaded of him trespassing on her property at this point. Given that he's violating protective order, state is looking for a $2,000 surety bond in this case. A stay away from the 7170 Flagstone Place. No further contact with Ms. Harris. No drugs, alcohol, weapons while on bond, and we can sound for Ms. Harris when appropriate. Thank you.
Devaris Harris, if you want to contribute, you need to start your video and unmute. I do see her as item
Can you
3.
hear me?
Yeah. Miss
Okay.
Grace, if you can prompt the participant to start a video. All right, Mrs. Harris, did you want to testify or shall I proceed with defense counsel?
You can proceed, Your Honor. The thing she said was correct.
Ms. McLeod, anything else to add?
Yes, Your Honor. My client tells me that the alleged victim, since the TPO has been in place, she has been contacting him. She is the one who has been initiating some of this contact. She has been also emailing him and texting him. He did say that since the TPO has been in place. She has been allowing him, because he sometimes doesn't have anywhere to stay, to sleep in his car in the parking lot of their home. My
That's not
client
true.
was
That's not true.
All right,
Absolutely.
Miss
That's
Miss
not
Harris,
true.
please do
Harris,
not interrupt me.
Miss Harris, I will give
Yes,
you an
ma'am.
opportunity to give a rebuttal, but right now you need to remain quiet.
Yes, ma'am.
Thank you.
Yes, yes,
Go
Your
ahead.
Honor. There are no allegations. My client doesn't have any kind of violent history at all. And in fact, the alleged victim was arrested in 2019 and charged for violence against my client. He tells me that this was just part of, she was still feeling upset about the fact that she had been arrested for being violent against him. And this is why she went and obtained the TPO. He's still responsible for the mortgage on the home, and it is kind of a stressful situation for him because he's unable to afford paying for the mortgage and also to find a separate place for him to live. This has been a 36-year marriage. They share 3 adult children, and there's been no allegations of any kind of violence on his part in this relationship. He tells me that they were actually going somewhere and got into the argument about directions on a GPS, and that was when she decided she was going to go and get a TPO against him. I would ask a signature bond for my client, Your Honor, based on the fact that he's retired and he doesn't really have any money to post bond. Nothing further, Your Honor.
Right. Mrs. Harris, if you want to respond, I'll need to place you under oath.
Yes, ma'am. I would like to
Raise-
respond.
Raise your right hand.
It's
Do you
raised.
solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
Yes, ma'am.
All right, you were granted a temporary protective, a 6-month protective order by the Superior Court of Fulton County that goes into effect on April 14th, 2025, through October 10th, 2025. You filed your petition on March 20th, 2025. Between March 20th, 2025, have you initiated any contact or do you have a response?
Yes, I do have a response. I have the email responses. I told Mr. Harris that I wanted a divorce and I wanted to sell our home. He does not want a divorce and he does not want to sell the home. I have already started the process. The only thing I need to do is pay the money for the fee to have the for the filing fee for divorce. On March the 15th, we did go to a funeral in Alabama. He did, he has a new truck. He didn't know how to use the GPS. He got mad. As usual, the first thing he does is attack my mother. My mother was in the vehicle with us. He called my mother a motherfucker. He said he was sick of all of us.
What date was this trip?
This was on March the 15th. It was a funeral to Alabama.
Okay, after March 15th, after March 20th, have you had any contact with Mr. Harris?
Through email. He has been calling me. He's been blocking his number. His number is blocked. His number's been blocked, and he knows it. He's not been allowed to stay in his driveway. He has been over his friend's Tracy Hudson house, and he has another friend named William or Willie. They call him Booby as a nickname. Those are his friends that he hangs out with and drinks and spends his money. He does not have any money because he's too busy spending it up. He gets $4,044 from
All
the
right, Miss
VA.
Harris. All right, Miss Harris. We
He
don't
got
need.
plenty. He gets over 6,000 a month. He got money. Telling that lie.
Well, good to know. All right. Anything else, Ms. McLeod?
Nothing further, Your Honor.
All right.
Telling a lie.
Mr. Harris, right now, based on your record, I think you are a smart man. You know how to read and so forth. But at the end of the day, there is a Superior Court order against you requiring you to stay 200 yards away from Ms. Tavares Harris, stay away from the home in which she occupies, stay away from wherever she's physically located, and you cannot have any contact with her in any way, form, or manner. It doesn't matter whether she initiates the contact or she welcomes you with an Evite or with a red carpet. The point is that there is a court order requiring you to stay away. So that's what you're required to do. I don't care whether you're tired. I don't care whether you want your medication. If you have stuff at the house, you have to go to Superior Court and ask the judge for permission for a one-time visit to the house with a police officer to get your stuff. But you cannot just show up on the doorstep willy-nilly because there is a court order requiring you to stay away. Now, right now, the prosecutor has pursued a misdemeanor charge against you. But under the Family Violence Protective Order, this can easily be a felony aggravated stalking charge. So if you don't appreciate the gravity of the situation you're in, it's only going to get worse. It's only going to get worse. On the violation of the Family Violence Protective Order, a misdemeanor offense, the bond is going to be set at $2,500. This is going to be a surety bond. Just like the Superior Court order, I'm ordering you to stay 200 yards away from Deveris Harris. You cannot contact her in person. You cannot contact her by through a third party. No mail, no email, no phone, computers, and you can't even discuss her on social media. If she tries to call you, you hang up. If she emails you, you block that email. You are responsible for making sure there is no contact between you and her. You cannot return to the marital home. You cannot return to any location where she's physically located. Do you have any questions about this order?
No, Your Honor.
All right. By the way, your Superior Court order is from April 14th, 2025 until October 10th, 2025. That is the Superior Court order. Once that order expires, now you still are required to stay away because of this case. So you're required to stay away until this case is fully resolved. So even though the Superior Court order may expire, this state court bond order will remain in place. Do you understand?
Yes.
All right. Your next court date is going to be May 22nd. And hopefully you understand the situation now. Thank you.
Your Honor, what was the bond amount again?
2,500 surety.
All right, thanks.
Mhm.
Good, sir. Position 7, Hubbard.
Andrew Hubbard is accused of simple battery family violence from April 24th, 2025, case number 25CR 002-398C. Mr. Hubbard, you've been advised of your rights and your attorney is going to be Mr. Chate. There we go. This is his 4th arrest cycle. He has a 2024 arrest from Marietta, Georgia for kidnapping and cruelty in the 3rd degree. Terroristic threats and criminal trespass. Oh, the terroristic threats and criminal trespass charges were dismissed. He's got a 2022 charge for drug possession, a 2019 criminal trespass, which was dismissed through PTI.
My case, Your Honor.
Ms. Dunlap, yes.
The incident date happened April 24th, 2025 at 2909 Campbellton Road Southwest. Victim in this case is Darnecia Coleman, DARNECIA. Officers responded to an assault call. They spoke to the victim, Ms. Coleman, who stated her boyfriend, the defendant, assaulted her. He slapped her in the face after an argument. Apparently, the argument started over him thinking that their current child is not his and that the father might be his brother. Defendant accused the victim of seeing his brother while he was locked up because the baby is light-skinned and they're both dark-skinned. Victim stated that the defendant is taking drugs, which causes his personality to change. Office did have a chance to speak to the victim. She said that they've been together for 6 years. She's currently 8 months pregnant with her and the defendant's 2nd child. She stated the incident occurred because she's been emotional due to her pregnancy and defendant has been going through a lot. When asked about being slapped, she said, "Not really, he mushed me." She said this.
I'm sorry, not really what?
He mushed me. I believe that's like,
okay, I get it.
Yeah. He says this incident is isolated. Defendant has only previously been verbally abusive, not physical. Victim advocate explained that this is not okay either. She said the abuse started because the defendant is drinking and doing cocaine, has been doing that for a couple years. She's currently unsure whether she wants to be with the defendant. She said she kicked him out 2 days ago. She wants no further contact and is okay with a signature bond. She doesn't want to be in court. The state is looking for a $2,000 surety bond on this case. We're going to still say no further contact with the victim, Darnisha Coleman. Stay away from the 2909 Campbellton Road Southwest. 1 day anger awareness, and no drugs, alcohol, weapons while on bond. And I guess we can sound from Ms. Coleman just in case she changed her mind when appropriate.
Darnicia Coleman? No. Mr. Shatay?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd ask this court to consider the lowest surety amount that is reasonable for Mr. Hubbard in this case. And if the court is willing to grant a signature bond, that would be acceptable as well. Mr. Hubbard is 31 years old. He has lived here in Atlanta for the past 8 years. His mother also lives in the state of Georgia, but in a different city. He has a high school diploma, and for the past 2 years, he has worked in a warehouse as a forklift operator. So, given his ties to the community, as well as the fact that he doesn't have FTAs or convictions, according to the public safety assessment report, I would ask the court to consider my recommendation instead.
On the simple battery family violence, that's going to be a 7,500 signature bond through pretrial services, level 3. He's to report to pretrial services once a week. He will enroll in a domestic violence intervention program within 30 days of being released. Within 10 days of being released, he's also to submit to an alcohol and drug evaluation and submit himself to any treatment that's required. No contact with Darnicia Coleman, no contact with the child or children that he shares with Ms. Coleman. If he wishes to have any contact, he can file a separate legitimation action and get a superior court order to set forth the issues of paternity, parenting plan, visitation, child support, and so forth. He is not to consume any illegal drugs, including cocaine or marijuana or anything to that effect. And he's not to consume any alcohol, and he will be subject to random screens for alcohol and or illegal drugs. Mr. Hubbard, you have to abstain from alcohol and illegal drugs. You have to enroll in the domestic violence classes, and you are to go to your healthcare provider and do an alcohol drug evaluation and submit to any treatment that's required. You're also required to stay 200 yards away from Darnicia Coleman and the child or children that you share with her. If you try to attempt to communicate with her, all she has to do is tell the prosecutor, and your bond can be revoked or amended to a cash bond. No weapons and no firearms, and your next court date will be sent to your new mailing address. So within 30 days, you have to give us your new mailing address. It cannot be the same one as Ms. Coleman's. Thank you.
Okay, can I say something, please?
Mr. Hubbard, I recommend that you exercise your right to remain silent. If you have a question, you can call the main line to our office. But remember, though, this hearing is recorded and the prosecutors are listening to you. So whatever you say can be used against you later in the future proceeding.
I just wanted to ask if I could get a lower bond because
You got a signature bond, Mr. Hubbard.
Okay, thank you. I apologize. I thank y'all so much.
Number
right.
9, mission number 9.
Thank you. William Felix Lepschitz is accused of simple assault, family violence, and terroristic threats and acts from May 6, 2025. Sir, your case number is 25 CR 24008. You've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. Shatay. Okay, with regards to this gentleman, this is his 7th arrest cycle. He's got an open case in Fulton County for aggravated assault. 2 counts of aggravated assault, 24 PI 000136, a 2009 battery conviction, and a 2003 simple battery DV conviction. Ms. Dunlap?
Thank you, Your Honor. Just to know, I did have a chance to speak to both Gwinnett County and I believe Cobb County, and there's different victim in those cases. The incident date with the 2 aggravated assault is the same victim, his wife, from January 2024. He's out on a $15,000 bond. He was supposed to stay away from her home address, get an updated address by January 8th, 2025. And he was also supposed to already have no contact with Ms. Cahoon, and that was seen by Judge Ashley Drake. The incident, really briefly to put the facts on record, officers responded to a fight in progress. They were dispatched, advised a male was assaulting a female. It was an open line with 911. She's advised, Ms. Cahoon advised that the victim, that her husband said he would kill her if he found out she called the authority and he has access to weapons. Officers spoke to Ms. Cahoon. She stated that her husband broke the window and came inside the property. They located the defendant in the rear bedroom. He ended up with small lacerations to his arm from breaking the window. He made a statement to the victim while she was on the phone with 911 that if she was on the phone with 911, he was going to kill her. He then grabbed her, pinned her left side of her face against the door, causing her to feel like she was going to die. He continued to press her aggressively against the door, only released her when the landlord arrived and knocked on the door. Officers observed blood in multiple areas of the house, specifically the front door frames and walls. Ms. Cahoon stated she didn't have any injuries, but officers did notice that she had a reddish complexion on the left side of her face. Defendant did admit to hurting the victim after being Mirandized. He also admitted to breaking the window and entering the home. Seeing that he has a history of violence as well as another arrest for simple battery in 2009, the state is looking for a $10,000 cash bond on this case. A stay away from the 731 Berkeley Avenue Northwest in Atlanta. No further contact with Shannon Cahoon. A family violence intervention program or anger awareness, whichever the court is inclined, because we are greatly worried about Ms. Cahoon's safety, and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons while on bond, and if we could sound for Ms. Cahoon when appropriate.
Ms. Cahoon? I have an iPhone, but I do not know who that is. I have a Samsung. No idea. Okay.
Sorry, Your Honor, I just realized I do have her statement. I thought she was going to be on. She said she's terrified of the defendant. She's been married to him for 11 years. That he smokes crack. He was clean for 5 years and then he started smoking again. She said the defendant went on a 5-day crack binge before this incident. He texted her and told her to put a key under the mat because he'd be coming home. And she stated he ended up coming home Tuesday. She put all his things on the porch with a key to the rental so he could just leave. She stated he's not supposed to be around her due to the felony case. She did not open the door because she was scared, causing him to break the window. She stated she called the landlord and police at the same time. She confirmed the events in the warrant. She stated she has not answered the phone for the defendant. She said she currently can't move and there's a history of verbal abuse as well as physical. She does not want to be on Zoom because she's scared to see the defendant. She wants him to remain in jail. And that would be it, Your Honor. Thank you.
Mr. Shatay?
Thank you, Your Honor. I'd ask the court to consider the lowest surety amount possible that's reasonable for Mr. Lefschitz in this case. He's 71 years old. He's lived in Atlanta for the past 40 years, and he also has 2 sons in the area. He has a bachelor's degree and 3/4 of a master's degree in finance. And for the past 6 years, he's had stable employment working as a restaurant manager in a barbecue restaurant. For those reasons, Your Honor, I ask the court to consider my recommendation instead.
All right. He's already got a bond order in, and sorry, I misspoke. The case number is 25 PI 000136. Bond order issued on January 6, 2025, requiring him to stay away from Shannon Cahoon and stay away from the Bellamete location. I'm not sure what transpired between January 6 and May 6, 2025 in a span of what, 4 or 5 months. But on the simple assault, that's going to be a $1,500 cash bond. On the terroristic threats, that's going to be a $1,500 cash bond. So this will be a $3,000 cash bond only. In addition to the cash bond, Mr. Lefschitz is going to be equipped with an ankle monitor for a minimum period of 12 months. The monitoring expenses shall be paid by the defendant. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no firearms, and no weapons. Again, stay 500 yards away. The Superior Court order only required 200 yards. I'm adding 3 more football fields to the distance. So you have to stay 500 yards away from Shannon Cahoon and her immediate family members. And you have to stay away from the Bellamete home, as well as any other location where she's physically located. If you violate this bond order, then Mr. Lefschitz, you've just bought yourself a long-term stay with the Fulton County Jail. If the ankle monitor results indicate that you violated the bond order, This will be another reason for the state to seek a revocation of the bond. Thank you. Oh, next court date is May 22nd.
Good afternoon, Your Honor. Adriana Chansey speaking.
Yes, Ms. Chansey, good afternoon. Yes, we have a case. Was it Mr. McLean? So Mr. Chate? Who has the case requiring a Spanish interpreter?
I don't believe I have one.
Me neither, Your Honor.
We had a case reset that, oh, what's that? Deputy, which case requires a Spanish interpreter?
We don't have one today. I'm not sure.
Oh, I'm sorry. Maybe I got this was a mistake. I'm sorry, Your
No,
Honor.
that's quite all right. We're very grateful that you even appeared. So thank you so
Yes,
much.
that I
sir.
came to check.
I appreciate it. Thank you.
You. Have a good day.
You too.
Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Position number 10, Millhouse.
Okay. Corey Millhouse is accused of simple battery family violence from May 6th of this year, case number 25 CR 2387C. Mr. Millhouse, this is your first arrest as an adult, and you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Mr. McLean. Ms. Allen, any recommendation?
Your Honor, the state's requesting a $2,000 surety in this case. The victim in this case is I believe the spouse. She referred to herself and said that they were married for the last 12 years. Her name is Kenyatta Blackshear. She reports many violent previous instances. She also reported that she always covers for him and prevents him from being arrested. She was applying for a temporary protective order today, and we're asking for a stay away from the location. This is 2706 Ocean Valley Road in South Fulton. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons. This is an incident that occurred on the 6th of May. After an argument, while walking up the stairs, the defendant elbowed his wife, Mrs. Blackshear, in her face, as well as her body in the rib area during an argument. She made a report to the police. The defendant had fled the location. Thank you.
All right. Mr. McLean, anything to add?
Just that he is 37, works as a commercial exhibitor. He's a point of contact person at trade shows. He is a GED from Atlanta Tech. We would ask the court under these circumstances to consider a signature bond. Being a 37-year-old person with a job, he should have no trouble finding a place to live if the court wishes him to stay away from Ocean Valley.
All right. On the simple battery family violence, that's going to be a 2,500 signature bond through pretrial services, level 1. He is to have no further contact with Kenyatta Blackshear. Even it says on the warrant that they've got a husband-wife relationship, but it doesn't matter. This is a domestic violence case. So he's required to stay 200 yards away from her and not communicate with her in any way, form, or manner. He's to stay away from 2706 Ocean Valley Road in South Fulton. He's allowed a one-time visit to the location to retrieve his personal belongings. This one-time visit must be in the company of a police officer. He cannot go alone. After that, within 30 days of being released, he must update the court with his new mailing address. Within 30 days of being released, he's also to enroll into a valid domestic violence intervention program and complete all 26 classes at his expense without missing or skipping any classes. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons, and he reports to pretrial once a month. Thank you.
Position 12 and 13, Peters.
Did you say 13?
12 and 13.
Oh, 12 and 13, excuse me. All right, this is Tyshawn Peters. Mr. Peters has two separate cases. Let's begin with the first one. Position 1225 CR 2391B. Mr. Peters is accused of 3 misdemeanor offenses stemming from a traffic incident on May 7th. No valid insurance, expired tag or unregistered vehicle, and driving while license suspended or revoked. And his second case, 25 CR 2392B, from an incident of March 21st of this year, battery, family violence, cruelty in the third degree, and simple battery, family violence. Mr. Peters, you've been advised of your right to remain silent, and your attorney is Ms. Maureen McLeod. With regards to Mr. Peters, this is his third arrest as an adult. In 2025, he appears to have an open case in College Park for driving while license suspended or revoked, or driving on a suspended, canceled, or revoked registration, and a controlled substance possession. Ms. Allen?
Thank you, Your Honor. The traffic case, we're asking for a $3,000 SOB through pretrial, no driving without the proper documentation and registration, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. He was picked up on 5/17 when officers saw him driving a Volkswagen with an expired tag. Officers initiated a traffic stop after they saw the defendant exit a gas station and get out onto the road. The defendant was the driver of the vehicle. He was explained to that the reason why police stopped him was this lack of registration. He said, you know, I knew about that and told police he had just been arrested in College Park for the same thing. That's the February arrest that you just alluded to. So in May, still driving around with the same issue. Police officers ran his information, saw that he had no insurance and his license had been suspended since July of 2022. At that time, police officers saw that he had an active outstanding warrant from March of 2025 or for the battery in position number 13. That is an incident from midnight, March 21 into March 22 at 3360 Penny Lane, apartment G. The victim in that case is Shanaria Cobb, Shanaria. She called the police to report that her ex-boyfriend and the father of her child, Tyshawn Peters, TP, same name as the defendant, had punched her multiple times in her face and head. She reported that at that time she was 8 months pregnant. They lived together, and the child that they share, born in 2021 with the same name as the defendant, was present for this. She reported that there had been prior assaults, but never this bad. She reported that they'd argued, she left, and when she came back after trying to de-escalate, he assaulted her. She was seen to have blood coming from her ear. The defendant had fled the location, so warrants were obtained. On that case, we're asking for a $6,000 surety, no contact with the victim, Mrs. Cobb, or the child, and to stay away from her address at 3360 Penny Lane, apartment G. No drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And we'd ask for DVIP as well, Your Honor. Thank you. We have not been able to get in touch with her today, although we did leave messages. If you'd sound for Mrs. Cobb in case she was able to join us.
Shanaria Cobb, if you're present on Zoom, you're free to unmute and start your video. All right. Ms. McLeod, is this your client as well?
This is my client, Your Honor.
All right. Yes, ma'am.
Miss Cobb will not be joining because she just had a baby.
Okay.
And my client is the father of this child. In fact, he tells me that he was on his way to the hospital because his child was being delivered when he was stopped for the traffic incident. He tells me that he and Miss Cobb are still co-parenting their two children. They do not live together. The address he tells me that he gave me is actually his address. I think he said that was his address, and she lives somewhere else. But what he tells me is that they actually do not live together at the moment, but they're still co-parenting their two children, one of whom is only 2 days old. I believe the child was born on the 6th, Your Honor. What we would be requesting is no further violent contact between them. This incident allegedly happened in March. We are now in May, and they have continued to co-parent the one child that they had. And of course, there's a new child in the works. I would also ask a signature bond for my client. he's not in a position to pay for bond, Your Honor, and he has no significant record. He certainly doesn't have a record for violence. So that is why I'm asking for a signature bond for him for the battery charge as well as for the traffic related charges. And nothing further, Your Honor.
Thank you. On position 12, no insurance, that's 1,000. Expired tag is 500. And driving while license suspended or revoked, that's 2,000. This is a 3,500 surety bond. No driving unless he has a valid driver's license, adequate insurance, and proper registration. He can Uber or Lyft or get a friend to drive him, but he absolutely cannot be behind the driver's wheel. Next court date for this case is May 22nd. For the position 13 on the battery family violence, that's going to be 3,500. The cruelty is going to be 1,500, and the simple battery is going to be 1,500. This is going to be a 6,500 signature bond through pretrial services level 3. He's to have no further contact with Shanaria Cobb and no further contact with the child or children that he shares with Ms. Cobb. If he wishes to have contact with the child or children that he shares with Ms. Cobb, he has to file a legitimation action and obtain a court order to set forth his rights to visitation, joint custody, as well as a parenting plan, including child support and so forth. He's to enroll in a domestic violence intervention program within 30 days of being released, and he's to pay for these classes out of his own pocket, attend and complete all 26 classes without skipping or missing any of these classes. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons. And if he does post bond, then he doesn't need to come back on May 22nd. But if he doesn't, then we will address both cases on May 22nd. Thank you.
Your Honor, repeat the bond for position 13.
Count 1 is 3,500. Count 2 is 1,000. 1,500. And count 3 is 1,500. Total is 6,500.
All right.
Your Honor, I need to speak with Ms. Allen, my supervisor, for like 2 minutes. Mr. Bell's bond is going to need a revision. I just got some different information, so I just need her for 2 minutes, and I know the rest of the cases on the calendar are hers.
All right, we'll take a Ms. McLeod. Did you have anything else?
Nothing further, Your Honor. May I be excused?
Yes, you have a great Thursday. Thank you.
Thank you, Your Honor.
All right, Ms. Dunlop, how would you like to speak to Ms. Allen? Okay, that's how she's doing. Okay, so I guess they're going to talk or chat. Meantime, I guess we can just go down the calendar and I can revisit the matter with the prosecutors. All right, position 1, Bell is still currently a $5,000 split bond. Position 2 is a $1,000 surety bond. Position 3 is a $4,000 signature bond through pretrial level 2. Position 4 is a $1,000 surety bond. Position 5 is a $2,000 surety bond. 6 is a 2,500 surety bond. Yeah. 7 Hubbard is a 7,500 signature bond through pretrial level 3. 8 Lampley is a $2,000 surety bond. 9 is a $3,000 cash bond with an ankle monitor. 10 Millhouse is a 2,500 signature bond pretrial level 1. Do we know what's going on with Johnson and Newhall?
Your Honor, I would need a breakout session to discuss MH aspects of Johnson Onua.
Okay. All right, so we'll do a breakout on that. Position 12 was a 3,500 surety bond, reset May 22nd. Position 13 is a 6,500 signature bond for pretrial, level 3. Position 14, Jacques Ross, are we addressing that too?
I have that, Your Honor, yes.
And is Mr. Ross in? Okay.
He should be in the courtroom.
Yep. I'll let the deputy organize that. Position 15 and 16 is a medical reset to tomorrow, May 9th. This is a Grady reset, no Riverside issue. Position 17, Kenneth Sproul.
I have that one.
Okay, that we're addressing in person as well, correct?
Yes.
Okay. And position 18 was released and further notice.
Your Honor, if I may, on Mr. Bell. We're going to, in light of some additional information, we're gonna null cross the battery against a female who's pregnant and just proceed on the battery family violence. I'll file down the amended accusation, but his bond now should just reflect for one charge, not two.
All right, so on count 2, that was a signature bond through pretrial. Count 2 is null crossed. So is Mr. Bell in the courtroom?
He's not, Judge. He's in intake now.
All right, please let him know that his current bond is only a $2,500 surety bond. Same conditions, no contact, stay away, and an FBIT requirement.
Yes, ma'am.
All right, Deputy, who should we address next?
You can go to position 14, Mr. Ross.
All right. This is Jacques Antonio Ross, case 25 CR 2402J, accused of criminal trespass and simple battery family violence from May 7th of this year. Mr. Ross has been advised of his rights. His attorney is going to be Mr. McLean?
Yes.
Okay.
Yes.
Okay. And with regards to Mr. Ross, he has a 2024 driving without a valid license, a 2023 giving false name and possession of a Schedule 4 that was dismissed, and he has a 2022 driving without a valid license. Okay, Ms. Allen, what's your recommendation?
Thank you, Your Honor. The incident in front of you is a criminal trespass and a simple battery family violence. He was arrested on the 7th of May at 3540 North Camp Creek Parkway. That is a apartment complex called The Preserve at Camp Creek. He'd been previously criminally trespassed from that location on March the 12th of 2025. Specifically, there have been multiple, I think 3 reports since the March period of time made by Essence Edwards, the woman who he shares a pending child with. She reported that she's pregnant with his child. She said that they don't live together, although he's been there presently at her home 3 times since March and criminally trespassed from that location. She called the police and on scene reported that during an argument after the defendant came and he was not supposed to be there, he grabbed her by the wrist, trying to prevent her from leaving the location and notifying the police that he was present. The March incident that precipitated and created the notice for a criminal trespass also involved violence and a 911 call by her mother to the police at that time. We have not been able to get in touch with Mrs. Essence Edwards at this point, but we'll continue those efforts. We're asking for a $4,000 surety to stay away from that location and no contact with Ms. Edwards, no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. And again, that's 3540 North Camp Creek Parkway.
All right. Mr. McLean, does your client live at the Donnelly Avenue location?
Your Honor, he lives with his aunt. Mr. Ross, is that at 1380 Donnelly?
It is.
Okay. Then he lives there. It's his aunt's address. Yes.
3540, I'm sorry, what was that address again?
1380.
Okay, so he doesn't live at the Camp Creek location.
Right. He lives on Donnelly.
Okay. And anything else to add?
He's 23 years old. He is GED, working on that. He works in dog care for the last 6 months, housekeeping for 6 months before that, and restaurants before that, Your Honor. So he's staying busy and being industrious, as a 23-year-old ought to be. We would ask the court to consider the lowest possible bond in this situation with appropriate conditions. We would ask the court to consider a signature bond if that is possible.
Kenyatta, what was her name again? Kimball? Kimball. Okay. With regards to the criminal trespass, that's going to be $1,000, and with the simple battery, it's going to be $2,500. This is a 3,500 signature bond through pretrial services, and this is going to be level 2. He's to stay 200 yards away from the entire complex known as the Preserve at Camp Creek, which is at the Donnelly Avenue location. He's to have no further contact with Kayada Kimball. He's to stay 200 yards away from her and not communicate with her in any way, form, or manner. Within 30 days, he's to enroll in a domestic violence intervention program and attend and complete all 26 classes at his expense. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. And please remember to report to pretrial twice a month. If you get arrested again, if you violate the no contact or stay away provisions, or if you do not report to pretrial, the signature bond can be surrendered and amended to a cash bond or surety bond. Yes, Mr. McLean?
I'm sorry, Your Honor. Thank you. My confusion is there may be more than one Donnelly. Is this Donnelly anywhere near Camp Creek, Mr. Ross?
I have 1380 Donnelly Avenue. Is that not the correct address?
No,
That's where
that's the defendant's address. The address at the Preserve at Camp Creek is 3540 North Camp Creek Parkway.
Oh, okay.
And the individual he's supposed to have no contact with is Essence Edwards. Mrs. Kenyatta Kimball was just the person there, part of the staff who criminally trespassed him in March after he had his first incident with the victim, Mrs. Edwards.
Understood. Okay,
Thank
so
you.
for the criminal trespass, he's to stay away from the complex and have no contact with Kayada Kimball.
No.
And for the simple battery, he's to have no contact with Essence Edwards. Now, if he has a child with Miss Edwards, he can always file a legitimation action to assert his parental rights for joint visitation and custody. But other than that, he's not allowed to have any contact with her.
Number 17, someone say.
17. Okay, thanks. Kenneth Sproul is charged with harassing communications and stalking family violence from September 25th, 2024. Mr. Sproul, your case number is 25 CR 2403G. You have been advised of your right to remain silent. Your attorney is going to be Mr. McLean. This is Mr. Sproul's 22nd arrest cycle. In 2023, he appears to have an open case pending in Hapeville, Georgia for theft by shoplifting. Looks like he's got quite a few FTAs. I'm not sure of the years of the FTAs, but he's also got an open pending felony case, and I'll get that number shortly. Ms. Allen, what's the state's recommendation?
Thank you, Your Honor. We're asking for a $4,000 surety to stay away from the residence of Kendra Simmons, who's the victim in this case, have no contact with her and no drugs, alcohol, or weapons. This gentleman has a prior conviction for criminal trespass damage where the victim was also Mrs. Simmons. They share a child. He's got 2 prior criminal trespass NOLOs out of Clayton County from 2020 and 2021. The individual in front of you was arrested on the 8th of May and was on first appearance felonies today for possession of a firearm. We requested that this case be transferred up to be along with that one because he was arrested for showing up at Miss Kendra Simmons' house, demanding entry, harassing her. Police reviewed threatening text messages and phone calls that she showed them, and he was found to be in possession of a firearm. So the outstanding warrant that had been issued that you have in front of you today encompasses behavior from September 2024 until April, notes from contact with Mrs. Simmons from 25 different numbers, and contact by this defendant hundreds of times for the purpose of harassing and threatening her. So at this point, he's in violation of the probation conditions of 23, no, I'm sorry, it's no longer in place anymore, a 20 CR case that had previously ordered him to have no contact. There is a current case in the Superior Court, and the reason why we're asking for the surety, Your Honor, is just a clear disregard for orders of the court, recognition that past criminal history, desires of this young lady to not have any contact with him, just completely disregarded by the defendant. There's a concern for continued harassment and violation. We did try to get in touch with Mrs. Simmons today. I would note that his emergency contact since 2020 is Mrs. Simmons with a number ending 7781. If you would speak for Mrs. Simmons or call for her so she can chime in. Thank you.
Kendra Simmons, if you'd like to contribute, you'll need to unmute and start your video.
It's not letting me start my video.
Okay, give us a minute. Miss Grace, if you could prompt the user to start video. All right, Ms. Simmons, if you'd like to raise your right hand. Do you solemnly swear and affirm the testimony you provide will be the truth to the best of your knowledge?
I do.
All right, what would you like to tell us?
Yes, he has been harassing me for the last 2 years. He stopped for a while, and then it started back. I get calls every day. He harassing me, my mom, my boyfriend, my friends, my children. All of them are under the age of 15. He's threatening to kill me. He threatened to kill my boyfriend. He threatened to shoot my son. My son is 15. He threatened to beat him up. And then I'm at work on her birthday, and I get a phone call from my child saying that Kenneth was at the door. And with all the text messages and stuff, you threatening us, and then they tell me that you come with a gun. So at this point, I don't know what your intentions are. You're telling me that you're going to shoot my son. You're telling me you're going to shoot me. I have messages, everything. His name, he's stating his name. He's sending videos to my friends.
Miss Simmons,
Yeah.
these incidences, what's the time frame?
All these are within, what is this? When did it start? This was April. He stole my phone service, so the 7781 is not even my number anymore.
Okay, so this has happened since last month?
Yes.
All right. Now, do you and Mr. Sproul share any children?
Unfortunately, we shared the last one.
How old is the last one?
She just turned 4.
Okay. And what are her initials?
Her initials is KS.
KS. Okay. All right. And
Your Honor, just briefly, a point of concern for the state, the documents state that this contact to harass and threaten her has been occurring since September of 2024. The number that we just referenced, ending in 7781, was answered today by someone claiming to be the victim. You just heard her testify that she had to change her number because of this defendant. He's called her from 20 different numbers and including other family members. So our office actually made contact with 2 different people today and asked both of them to be on Zoom. The woman in front of you is the actual victim in this case who had to change her number. But the evidence revealed through this testimony, and it's corroborated in the police report and the felony arrest that happened on May the 7th, which is why he was in felony first appearance at this Mrs. Simmons' house in possession of a firearm, showing police threatening messages and demanding to be let inside, creates a very large concern for the safety of this young woman and her small children. The defendant is a convicted felon. And he was in possession of a firearm. I did reach out to the DA's office today. I don't know that they understood the severity and the fact that this gentleman's criminal history means he needs additional charges. So I just wanted to make it clear on the record. There is something else going on as well, this kind of bold behavior is a danger to this young lady and her family.
Thank you, Ms. Allen. Mr. McLean? Thank you, Ms. Simmons. Please mute your screen.
Can I say something? I don't know if he aware, but we do have court tomorrow because I did go and put a TPO out and I think it was April the 19th or the 20th. So we have court tomorrow at Fulton County at 2:00 for the
Okay.
TPO.
When you go to court tomorrow, you let the judge know that Mr. Spruill's in jail.
Okay,
And they may have to reset it for a jail appearance.
okay,
All right, thank you.
thank you.
All right, Mr. McLean?
Your Honor, without getting into the allegations of the case, which will be for trial, Mr. Kenneth Spruill is 35 years old. He is educated at the 11th grade level and then went to Job Corps. So I think he may have finished his GED at the Job Corps. He works at restaurants and he's worked at a warehouse. So he has done that sort of work and stays employed. His residence is over in Jonesboro, quite some distance away. He tells me he will comply with any court orders, Your Honor. So we would ask the court to consider the lowest possible bond that would ensure his return to court on time. We would ask the court to consider a signature bond or a $1,000 to $1,500 surety.
Okay. On the harassing communications, that's going to be 2,500. On the stalking family violence, that's 3,500. This is a $6,000 surety bond. In addition to the surety bond, Mr. Spruill's also going to be equipped with an ankle monitor for a minimum period of 12 months upon his release. He's to have no further contact with Kendra Simmons, no further contact with the child that he shares with her, KS. If he wants to have any kind of contact with KS, he would need to file a legitimation action. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, no weapons. And he's required to stay 500 yards away from Kendra Simmons, 500 yards away from wherever she's physically located, which includes her home, her place of business, wherever she shops, wherever she's strolling, and so forth. Monitoring expenses shall be paid by the defendant, and his next court date will be May 22nd. His current felony case number is 25 PI 003627. Thank you.
Judge, that was a $6,000 surety bond?
Yeah, 2,500 and 3,500 with an ankle monitor upon release.
At his expense, yes.
All right, thank you. All right, next case we have is that our breakout case for?
I believe so.
I think so, yes.
Okay, Johnson and Newhart, okay. Who is on the Samsung? Was that Miss Simmons? Miss Simmons, you're free to go. There's another gentleman sitting in courtroom 2. Have we addressed that case?
No, we wait on the add-on calendar for this guy, Mr. Miller.
Okay, all right. In the meantime, Miss Grace, could you put Mr. McLean, Miss Allen, and me into a breakout, please?
Yes, ma'am.
Courtroom 2.
Yes, ma'am.
Can you give me the name of the person for the add-on?
His name is Gregory Miller. Do you need the booking number?
No, no, thank you. I'm just trying to check to make sure they're aware of us needing this.
Okay.
Thank you.
All right, Deputy for position 11, Johnson Anuha. The bond total is 4,500, is 1,500 surety on each count, reset to May 22nd. All right, let's see now. What is the booking number for this add-on case? Yeah,
I'm
find
trying
out.
to get Michael so we can get a copy, but.
So I can give you the info. 250-8308.
250-8308. Okay.
He 8308. The case is 25 CR 002-386B. His name is Gregory Miller.
I'm sorry, 002-386B?
8. 0. Sorry.
Just start over.
25 CR 002-386B is the accusation for today. His booking number is 250-8308.
Okay.
All
right, that case is on Odyssey. We have the accusation. This is for Gregory Miller. Are they bringing him to the courtroom?
He's here, Judge.
Okay.
Gregory Miller.
All right, this is State versus Gregory Miller, case number 25 CR 002-386B. Mr. Miller, you have a right to remain silent. Anything you say in open court, your statements can and will be used against you. You have a right to an attorney, and currently representing you is Mr. Alex Chate. You are accused of one count of criminal trespass and one count of stalking, family violence, allegedly from May 7th, 2025. I don't have a GCIC on Mr. Miller unless the prosecution has one.
I can give you the most recent information, which is pertinent, Your Honor. This defendant was just convicted of misdemeanor terroristic threats, simple battery or simple assault, excuse me, against Tamika Gay, who is also the victim in this case. That was in November of 2024 in 24 CR 004-394B. He's required to have no contact as part of that disposition. He has an open felony level terroristic threats case against her and is out on a $15,000 cash bond in 24 SC 005-847. That was a bond issued in September 2024.
Okay.
We're asking for a $4,000 surety to stay away from Mrs. Gay and her address, which is 1742 Willis Mill Road, Southwest. He's also already has that condition as part of his bond. Police were called on the 7th of May at about 3 in the morning. They note in the documentation that They'd been to the location in March on the 24th, March 24, 2025, because the defendant was there uninvited, and the victim, Mrs. Gay, called the police. On the 7th, after they'd already criminally trespassed him, he had returned. She reported that he came to the location at 8 p.m. and refused to leave. Eventually, she gave him $5 because he kept asking her for it, and he left for a little bit, but then returned again. He was seen to have an active warrant for a probation violation that had been issued in March. The police honestly gave this lady a very hard time and didn't look into the fact that he'd been trespassed and had an order in place and a bond order in place requiring to have no contact with her. So it took multiple calls for her to get some help. That's why we're asking for that $4,000 surety and no contact whatsoever with the victim in this case, Mrs. Gay, Tamika, Tamika. We did leave a message for her, but I'm not sure if she was able to join us. I don't see anyone on the Zoom, but we'll continue our efforts, Your Honor.
I don't see anyone by that name. All right, Mr. Shatay?
Thank you, Your Honor. I had asked this court to consider $1,000 surety instead. Mr. Miller is 51 years old. He's a lifelong resident of the Atlanta area. He got through school as far as the 12th grade, and currently he is in school in a technical college for heating and air. He's been doing that for about 2 months. And since he's in school, he has not been working. So he would not be able to afford the surety bond that the state is asking for. And for those reasons, I asked the court to consider my recommendation instead.
All right. It's not an issue of being afford the bond, but I'm concerned about his propensity to reoffend, especially with the same victim. On the criminal trespass, that's going to be a $1,500 surety. On the stalking, family violence, that's going to be a $2,500 surety. This is going to be a $4,000 surety bond. No further contact with Tamika Gay, to stay away from her residence, her workplace, or wherever she's physically located. No illegal drugs, no alcohol, and no weapons. And the next court date is going to be May 22nd. Thank you. All right, Deputy, I think we've concluded with the calendar.
That's correct, Judge.
All right. Did the state want me to go over the calendar again?
No, I got it. Thank you.
All right.
Mrs. Thornton, did you get all of it? That's who's important here. I think we're okay.
Okay.
Yes, ma'am, I have it.
Right.
All right. Okay, we're good then, and I will see everyone tomorrow. Have a great Thursday.
Have
Bye-bye.
a great day.
Thank you. Bye-bye.